Pez, are you there, mate?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
How are you going?
Very well, brother. Just had a big drive to Toowoomba, so I apologise for my phone being glitched out there. But
yeah, fair enough. You got a show in Toowoomba tonight?
We do, yeah. It's the first time I've been here, man. So it's kind of looking forward to it. We've got the royal treatment so far. Got a lot of nice food hooked up and a nice little hotel. So I'm feeling good.
What time are you on tonight, Pez?
I'm assuming it'll be probably around 11 or something. That's what it usually is. But and 60 would go on just before that. So
Okay,
I'm assuming that's pretty much what we're going by, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you've actually been on tour for quite some time at the moment. I believe you've got the Change for the Better tour going on at the moment. So that's true with the line, yeah? So it's something that you've been getting involved with?
Yeah, it was just something that I kind of I went along to play a song at the opening of that when the line launched, and played a song called Shine, and then they said that they all loved the song and felt like it suited the theme of, I guess, what they were trying to do. It seemed like I never thought I'd ever do anything to do with a government campaign, to be honest. So it was kind of a bit weird for me. But then it seemed like they were trying to do something good. The people I work with were all kind of pretty cool, and one thing led to another, and got the opportunity to go out on tour, which is not something that I would usually do when you're kind of in the, you're out of cycle and you're just trying to finish a new album. But because it was a cool opportunity to do it, here we are. It's been some crazy shows, so I'm kind of really glad that I did.
Yeah. Pez, I know we spoke to 360 a few weeks ago. You told us a little bit about how you guys met, how you sort of got into music, started rapping together. Just wanted to ask you what kind of music you listened to back then. Is it the same sort of stuff now? Is it mainly hip-hop? Is it diverse? Or?
I've always I guess I was real lucky. Like, my dad listened to lots of, just incredible music growing up. So, all that stuff from, the 60s and 70s when there was just such just an epic kind of creative time in music all over the world and shit. So I got pretty spoiled in that way, and I guess I still listen to a lot of that old stuff now. I seem to kind of connect with it more than a lot of the new age shit feels a bit plastic, and I struggle to kind of open my mind a lot of times to new stuff, so I kind of live in a time warp a lot of the time.
Yeah, fair enough. With regard to hip-hop, so, what are your influences? Because I know quite a while back there wasn't as much Aussie hip-hop, as big as it is right now. So how were you influenced by other hip-hop artists, and, whereabouts was it?
My influence, I guess the hip-hop was the thing, because I was so spoilt by the other music I listened to. Hip-hop was the first thing I heard where I was like, oh shit, what's that? And I had to go seek it out myself.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what made it feel so special, I guess, because I love lyrics a lot. It was kind of the first time that I heard someone, it's like they're talking kind of directly to you. Everything was stripped back. You're not distracted by real nice melody and music, which usually appeals to me. It's kind of about what the person's saying. So, I don't know, Biggie. But then at the same time, Biggie was my favourite rapper. He's the dude I heard that just made me go, Jesus Christ, that was ridiculous. His flow and everything was just so far ahead of everyone. So I've always been kind of interested in flow and wanted to kind of push myself in that area because of who I looked up to.
Yep.
But then, I've never been really a hip-hop head per se. I know 60 was kind of hard into a lot of that shit, where for me I kind of, I listened to a lot of Biggie, and I listened to a bit of Eminem in his prime and Jay-Z and all these sorts of dudes, and obviously you listen to Illmatic and go through kind of certain little phases at the start, but I never was kind of a full hip-hop head where I was kind of, digging through old shit and kind of, I don't know, it just never seemed to grab me in that way. I kind of listened to a lot of the elite dudes because it kind of inspired me to want to do the same thing myself, I guess.
No, I see what
but
you mean.
it's a little bit different.
Pez, I know you've performed alongside a lot of US artists, like Lupe, Brother Ali, even Vanilla Ice and stuff. But
love Vanilla Ice.
Oh, dude, it was hilarious.
Yeah, man.
It was unbelievable.
How'd that come about, by the way? I'm going to interrupt Max there. How'd that come about? How'd you get to perform with Vanilla Ice?
I think actually some other band got the support act, but then he called me and Six Up and was like, yo, dudes, would you want to come and do some
That'd be
songs?
more entertaining, eh?
It's a good call to get.
We did some forthright shit, and it actually went down it was crazy. People hated Vanilla Ice because they only wanted to hear Ice Ice Baby, and then after that they were over it. But we had,
a bit of a one-hit wonder there.
Yeah.
We sold a shitload of mixtapes, so we had a real good night.
Yeah. I know you've also obviously performed with a lot of Aussie acts, Muff and Pluto, Draft, B&E even. Is there a lot of difference between the US rappers and the the Aussie rappers that have kind of come up in a more similar way to yourself?
I think there's a lot of life in the Australian scene, man. Like hip hop in America feels like it I don't know, you don't want to say died, but it lost a lot of its soul a long time ago and got kind of really exploited. So I think it's been, when I went and saw Common when he was out here like years ago, he still had this life to him, and I saw kind of Kanye like in that time when he kind of just done his second album at Festival Hall, and like he was just incredible. But apart from these little beams of light, like Lupe I love, so it was cool to see him. But usually, I don't know, there's that energy in Australia at the moment where dudes are like trying to do the impossible. Like not that long ago, people were laughed at and told that this shit would never happen, and now dudes are going platinum and double platinum and having #1 albums and shit. So there's that energy in the room. Like as soon as you go there, like everyone's excited, and it's just it's fucking mental, man. So like, I love watching Draft all the time. I've been a big fan of him, and want to do a track with him on my new album and stuff. But then, B&E are like playing stadiums and that now, so it's like, it's pretty ridiculous, man. Like it's hard to put that shit into words.
Yeah, we're loving how Aussie these Aussie acts are getting so big. And speaking of big Aussie acts, we actually have a mate of ours on the show, Sam Killen today. Kinno, are you there, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm here.
Yeah, so he's actually keen to ask a few questions to Pez. I'm not quite sure how but he's on the other phone line. So, Kinno, you want to ask Pez a few questions, mate?
Yeah, we'll see how we go. How you going, Pez?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. So I've just been doing a bit of looking around and seeing that you're coming out here and you're playing at the Esty on the 24th with 360 again.
Yeah, pretty pumped for that.
Yeah, it looks like a good lineup that night. Should be a big night down there. And hopefully I and a few of the other boys will get along to that.
Definitely.
Is that in support of a new album that's coming out?
Yeah, well, that's the big thing for me, man. I've just been trying to finish my new album. Like, I've got these so many songs that are about like 70 or 80% done and shit, and I've just stared at these like things of trying to finish a verse for so long, and it's a real weird feeling, man. Like all the pressure can build, because in the label and all that, like hurry up, and I don't know, I tend to find I write less when I feel pressured than when I'm just relaxing and enjoying myself. So it's yeah, hopefully it's getting there, man. I would like to have a single out pretty soon, but yeah, the SB will be good, because the show at the Hi-Fi for this tour, for the Change It for the Better tour, was, oh man, that's probably my favourite show I've ever had in my life. So I can't wait to go back and play in Melbourne again straight away. Hopefully a lot of those same people are there, and the energy will be sick.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll pack it out again. And obviously Haley Kramer and DJ Maddox, Steve Mott were on the record that was released in 2009. But are you working with any of them again on this new record?
Yeah, I'll definitely do some tracks with Maddox, man. Like, we've got a few tracks that feel pretty special. But then, I guess with the first record, I worked mainly just totally with him, like that's how we started out at the start. We were we were Pez and Maddox before I met 60 and kind of did the Forthright thing and that. So we had that stuff going from way back then. And I guess sometimes I just need that little bit of extra freedom to you want to express yourself in different ways. And if you're only working with one producer, sometimes you can feel a little bit limited, or he can, it can be a bit more stressful. So I've definitely worked with a few other dudes as well, but I think he'll do a good half the album with me.
Yeah, well, I know Steve. I've met him a couple of times and been in and looked around the studio with him, and I know that he was really happy with how the first album turned out, and he loved it, and he's obviously done stuff with Bliss and Esso and whatnot recently. So I'm sure that whatever comes out next will be just as good as the first one, hopefully bigger.
Yeah, that's the plan, man. We're hoping to push things well beyond that now, because that's the question you get. Like, is it just going to be more of the same? And I was like, I never want to be one of those artists, even though that seems to be what works. Most people get their little formula and their sound and then go, all right, we'll just churn this shit out. But yeah, we want to try and keep it interesting for us as well.
All right, cheers for that, Kinno. Thanks for asking a few questions. So yeah, Pez, just back to us. You by nature you're not a battle rapper. I mean, I don't think you've been involved in too many recently, but we've actually noticed that with a lot of the battles with 360, you get dissed a bit. What are your thoughts on that, mate?
I guess it's expected, man. Like me and Six have always had a pretty, good relationship, and people are pretty aware of the whole Forthright vibe. So I've always tried to give him a leg up, and he always kind of does the same thing. So you're definitely gonna cop some shit, particularly when you don't kind of fit the mold of a typical rapper in Australia. But you know, that's what's made me tempted to want to battle at times. You know, sometimes I'll get some pretty good lines together and maybe, you know, go, hey, Six Man, feel free to throw this one at that cunt. But it kind of, I'm pretty tempted because I know I could definitely do it. Like, I know in the early stuff when we'd write the forthright shit and kind of just have a lot of fun and write funny bars, like it's pretty fun and pretty easy to do. So I've always been semi-tempted to get in the deep end, but I'm just not completely sure yet.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see, and I might be able to get a couple of one-on-ones with some of these guys that have been talking shit and give them some back.
Speaking of new guys, man, I've been hearing good things about your brother Tice. Do you want to tell us a little bit about him? I hear he's got an album out soon.
Yeah, well, he's he's incredible, man. Like, I know at the start I kind of had a lot of influence on him, particularly just with his flow and certain things that people would say it sounds a lot like you, but then, you know, he kind of had time to just go off and do his own thing, you know. I kind of moved out and wasn't there to kind of, you know, push it along so much anymore. So he's kind of shaping his own style a bit, and he's got an amazing voice, so he can write this real pretty hard kind of heavy shit that is, you know, I think his first album's called Chapter Black, so it's all pretty dark and pretty heavy stuff. But he's so amazing lyrically and flow wise that it's not just being angry for the sake of it. It's kind of, you know, I know he had a pretty dark past, so it kind of helps him kind of let some of those demons out a bit and address a lot of that shit. And then he's also doing another album called Out of the Darkness, which is like kind of trying to let go of a lot of that stuff. So he's just a fascinating character, man, to be able to see someone who's already kind of, you can see these two sides to him, which he captures so well. So I think when he's done, I think he's going to stir up a lot of shit, man. Like, people won't really be ready for it, and they'll kind of go, wow, he just came out of nowhere. So it's exciting, man. Like, I love hearing his stuff. He really kind of inspires me, gives me a kick in the ass to be like, hurry up, you know, finish some songs.
Yeah, both you and 360 have been signed up to Soulmate Records, and we've also got an interview later on today's show with the Bright Young thing. So it's a bit of variation with, you know, with the record label. So how did you get into that deal, get into the whole, you know, it's pretty much starting up your music career, like, you know, professional music career and doing so. But you know, how did that start about?
I did my album basically all myself with Matic. I know Chris had kind of, at Soulmate, he'd signed a couple of dudes and did the 60 album, and a few things like didn't quite pop off like they were hoping to. And I actually approached him when he was kind of gonna throw it away, really, like the whole thing was gonna kind of fold. And then I was kind of part of me wanted to just do my own label, but I kind of didn't have the balls, and I kind of went to him and was like, yo, I got this, you know, do you want to have one final crack at it? And he sort of said, yeah, let's give it a go. And then it happened to go really well. So ever since then, it's been the rebirth of Soulmate. Yeah. It's given him a chance to kind of sign a lot of different things, which I guess it's cool. You know, he's into different things. It isn't just the kind of standard hip hop thing. So he's going to always try and keep it interesting and sign other acts that he's really into.
Yeah. Pez, I just looked on the Rapper Tag site before coming into the studio, and you are still the latest part of the digital cipher. Esso hasn't posted up his thing yet.
Yeah.
Tell him to get on it.
He might have been a little quicker than that, but that's all right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, man, that DMX line, the Don't Bark line, that was gold, man. That shit was gold.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Oh, starting a beef between Aussie Hip Hop MC Pez and DMX.
Yep.
Oh, that's what we want to do, man. We need some cross-country shit going. You know? We need to really get it to blow up.
Yeah. So
hopefully Esso will get it in there soon. You'd hope so.
Yeah. Speaking of Esso, I know a lot of people have said that Bliss and Esso are kind of starting to get more and more similar to US hip-hop. And a lot of people have said that about Aussie hip-hop as well. What are your thoughts on that? Do you reckon Aussie hip-hop is kind of becoming more like US hip-hop, or becoming kind of its own diverse thing that's separate?
Yeah, I certainly don't hear the similarity to American hip-hop. I think that's kind of the good thing about it. It's starting to get its own sound. I think Bliss and Esso are starting to sound like Bliss and Esso.
Yeah.
And Draft is starting to sound like Draft, and the Hilltop Hoods have always sounded like the Hilltop Hoods. Like, I think that's the big thing at the moment here is dudes figure out what their sound is, and then they just make more of it, you know, because that's what seems to work, sort of thing. So everyone's kind of creating their own little niche almost, it's cool, you know. It feels diverse over here because everyone's got their own little angle, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. It's great to see that variety, you know, with Aussie hip hop. You got yourself and 360 definitely been releasing things which have been challenging the whole sort of definition of Aussie hip hop at the moment. So just as you know, a bit of a recommendation, we've got quite a few aspiring young MCs and artists coming out. What sort of like recommendations do you have to anyone trying to break out, you know, with their Aussie hip hop? Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of bathroom MCs out there who are quite talented, but they just can't quite get out there.
I don't know, man. You just got to try your best to actually be yourself, and just really keep forcing it down people's throat a bit. You know, you can't. It's too. There's so much negativity and all that shit out there always. So no matter what you are and what you do, if you don't kind of conform to the norm, there's going to be people that hate it and that. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because a lot of those people take a little while to understand what's going on, and then they all jump on the bandwagon. So people that once hated you suddenly jump on your dick and all want to be friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think if you can just try and be yourself and write music for you, then you'll generally be successful. It's the problem is most people write music for everyone else, so they start trying to make music that they think people are going to like rather than music that they like.
Pez,
so if you can make an album that you love, then you're going to be all right.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Finally, one last question for you. We know your album is set to come out fairly soon. It's been held back a little bit with a couple troubles. Any news on that? Any news, or maybe a date's been set or something?
Well, the date that was kind of set was always going to be kind of the August-September region, but I had to actually finish the bloody thing for that to happen. So
Oh, really?
because I haven't really done that yet, I think it'll kind of get pushed back a bit. So it's really just, the focus is just getting the right single to kind of lead back out with, and then, yeah, I really got to knuckle down and finish shit in the next couple of months, hopefully, and then we'll set a date. As soon as I have something that's pretty much a finished product, we'll set a date and stick to it. But I just got to finish it first.
Yeah, it's been great hearing from you. Thank you very much for joining us. We know you've been on a pretty much a month-long tour in God knows where in Australia. Yeah, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks a lot, mate.
We're definitely looking forward to hearing your new stuff, and we'll promote the shit out of that when it's coming up.
Yeah, all the best,
Cheers,
mate.
brother.
See you later.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
thank you very much, mate.
Bye.